Destroyers. They've been the workhorses of the world's navies for 100 years. Even though battleships and aircraft carriers pack a higher punch, they can't go where destroyers can. It's no wonder that destroyers are or were in many navies, but battleships are gone, and aircraft carriers are few and far between, especially if they aren't American. Speaking of America, the current Arleigh Burke class of destroyers are some of the most effective destroyers ever built. So in today's video, let's go over the lead ship, my personal favorite, as well as one of the subscribers' personal favorites, USS Arleigh Burke, up until the present day. USS Arleigh Burke DDG-51 is named after Admiral Arleigh A. Burke, and she's the lead ship of the Navy workhorses of the Arleigh Burke class guided missile destroyers. Arleigh Burke's designers incorporated many lessons learned during the Falklands War by the Royal Navy, and from the American Navy's own Tigeronda-class guided missile cruisers. The Tigeronda-class cruisers were expensive to build, and they proved very difficult to upgrade. Arleigh Burke is the first modern destroyer designed with features lowering its radar cross-section, which makes it much harder for the ship to be detected on radar. She also uses a downgraded version of the Aegis combat system, which allows for launching, tracking, and evading missiles all at the same time. Her all-steel construction provides good protection for her superstructure, while her collective programming system, or CPS, allows her to operate in environments contaminated by chemical, biological, or radiological material, which is very useful in today's world of nukes. This is a new section for me for ship histories. This is the ship's crest. Now, the Arleigh Burke's class is outlined in blue and gold, and comes from the achievement in the Battle of Admiral Burke against the naval power of Japan. The fist and mace symbolize the offensive and decisive power of the destroyer. The mace is also a symbol of authority, and it represents Admiral Burke's service as Chief of Naval Operations. It also refers to Admiral Mark Misher, an influential figure and mentor for whom Arleigh Burke served as Chief of Staff. Arleigh Burke's destroyer Squadron 23 is represented by the border of 23 ovals, and was the only United States destroyer squadron awarded a Presidential Unit Citation, signified by the canton of blue, yellow, and red. The ovals also refer to the year 1923, in which Midshipman Burke graduated from the United States Naval Academy at Annapolis. 23 also reflects Admiral Burke's distinguished service on the staff of the Chief of Naval Operations as OP-23. The mounted figure of St. George recalls Admiral Burke's celebrated victory in the Battle of Cape St. George over Japanese naval forces. His mantle bears a gold cross for the Navy Cross awarded to the Admiral. The birch branch on the helmet represents Admiral Burke himself, a reference to his name derived from his Scandinavian heritage. The Red Sea Dragon symbolizes Japan's naval power assaulted by forces under Captain Burke's command. It is gorged with the 2 gold stars he was awarded for his outstanding service. The lance impaling the dragon signifies ordnance on target. The capabilities of the new destroyer, the most powerful and most survivable ever built, are signified by the full armor and equipment of the warrior St. George. The admiral's nickname, 31-Knot Burke, is recalled by the number 31 on the horse. The motto of the ship is Fast and Feared. The ship's crest was designed by John Spruceton of the Institute of Heraldry, following a personal interview with Admiral Burke himself. The crest can also be found on the United States Postal Service USPS postage stamp honoring Admiral Burke that was issued back in 2010. Arleigh Burke was ordered on April 2, 1985 from the Bath Iron Works in Bath, Maine. Laid down on December 6, 1988, Arleigh Burke was launched on September 16, 1989 from Miss Roberta Burke. Admiral Burke was also present for her commissioning ceremony on July 4, 1991, which was held on the waterfront in downtown Norfolk, Virginia. She is home-ported in Rota. Her displacement, light, is approximately 6,800 long tons. However, fully loaded, it's approximately 8,900 long tons. She is 505 feet, 154 meters long, has a beam of 59 feet, or 18 meters, a draft of 31 feet, 9.4 meters, and she is powered by 4 General Electric LM2530 gas turbines, 100,000 horsepower, or 75,000 kilowatts. She has 2 propeller shafts and 2 propellers. Her speed is somewhere above 30 knots, or 56 kilometers an hour, 35 miles an hour. Of course, that is classified. Her range is 4,400 nautical miles, 8,100 kilometers, or 5,100 miles, at 20 knots, which is 37 kilometers an hour, or 23 miles an hour. Her complement is 33 commissioned officers, 38 chief petty officers, and 210 listed personnel. She has a lot of sensors and processing systems to name, so I am just going to put them up on screen. For electronic warfare, she has an AN SLQ-32 electronic warfare suite, an AN SLQ-25 Nixie torpedo countermeasure, and a Mark 36 Mod 12 decoy launching system, and a Mark 53 Nucla decoy launching system, and a Mark 59 decoy launching system. For armament, she has one 5-inch gun, one 20mm, two 25mm, and 4 half-inch caliber guns. For missiles, she has 2 Mark 141 Harpoon anti-ship missile launchers, 1 CRAM, and 1 29-cell and 1 61-cell, total for 90 total cells of the Mark 41 vertical launching system, or VLS, which can carry RIM-66 surface-to-air missiles, RIM-156 surface-to-air missiles, 161 anti-ballistic missiles, BGM-109 Tomahawk cruise missiles, RUM-139 vertical launch ASROCs. And she even has torpedoes. She has 2 Mark 32 triple torpedo tube launchers, which use the Mark 46 lightweight torpedoes, the Mark 50 lightweight torpedoes, and the Mark 54 lightweight torpedoes. And despite her being a destroyer, she carries 1 aircraft, and it's a Sikorsky MH-60R. Before commissioning, the commander and an operational test and evaluation force were involved in the very first phases of testing of all the brand new systems that would be featured on the Arleigh Burke. They were operated by fleet sailors at a land-based test facility. The combat system testing took place at the Combat System Engineering Development Site in Morristown, New Jersey. The engines and propulsion system in general was tested at the Gas Turbine Shipland-based engineering site in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. These test results supported the decision to begin production of the ships. After being commissioned, and throughout 1992, Arleigh Burke conducted extensive sea trials, as is often the case with a new ship class. U.S. Navy officers and shipyard engineers encountered a number of problems with some shipboard systems that required the attention of the warship's design and production agencies. An additional phase of testing was added to verify the effectiveness of the modifications made to these systems. The modifications were incorporated into the later destroyers of the Arleigh Burke class. And following her initial testing, the Arleigh Burke was deployed to the Mediterranean Sea and the Adriatic Sea in 1993, serving as the Green Crown during Operation Provide Promise. During her second deployment in 1995, Arleigh Burke steamed into the Mediterranean Sea as the Red Crown in support of the no-fly zone over Bosnia and Herzegovina. During her third cruise in 1998, she steamed into the Mediterranean once again, the Adriatic, the Red, and the Black Seas, as a participant in numerous American and Allied exercises. During her fourth cruise in 2000 to 2001, Arleigh Burke saw her service in the Mediterranean and Red Sea, and now in the Persian Gulf as well, enforcing the United Nations sanctions against Iraq, and conducting exercises with Allied naval partners. On her fifth deployment in 2003, Arleigh Burke and the other units of the Theodore Roosevelt-led Carrier Battle Group participated in Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Iraqi Freedom. During this wartime cruise, Arleigh Burke fired Tomahawk missiles strikes against our targets in Iraq, escorted merchant ships and naval auxiliaries through the geographic choke points, and carried out leadership interdiction operations in the northern Arabian Sea. She also undertook counter-piracy missions in the Gulf of Aden. This cruise, which lasted from January through June of 2003, saw Arleigh Burke at sea for over 92% of the time. And in March of 2003, she was assigned to Destroyer Squadron No. 2. As a member of Destroyer Squadron 22, Arleigh Burke operated with the George H.W. Bush Carrier Strike Group under the direction of the commander of Group 2. In May 2007, she ran what the Navy called a soft ground off Cape Henry Light at the entrance to the Chesapeake Bay. Her captain was relieved of their command shortly thereafter as a result of the loss of confidence in the ability to command. In October 2007, she was involved in anti-piracy operations in Somalia. And in 2009, Arleigh Burke was deployed to the eastern coast of Africa in support of AFRICOM Africa Partnership Station. The ship represented the United States during a port visit to the island nation of Seychelles, where they planned a role in securing a status of force agreement between the two countries. In August of 2010, Arleigh Burke entered the BAE Systems Shipyard in Norfolk, Virginia, for DDG modifications, a program to upgrade the ship's systems and to extend the service life to 40 years. And on September 23, 2014, she took part in the 2014 military intervention against ISIS, firing Tomahawk missiles once again, but this time on targets in Syria, while the ship was in the Red Sea. In 2018, the ship made 2 3-month overseas deployments and returned to Norfolk, Virginia between cruises. In 2019, she entered General Dynamics NASSCO shipyards in Norfolk, Virginia for continued work towards modification for ballistic missile defense. In March 2021, during the COVID pandemic, Arleigh Burke transited the Atlantic Ocean and conducted a homeport shift to Rota, Spain, joining the forward deployed naval forces in Europe as part of Destroyer Squadron 60. Prior to the port shift, she received extensive upgrades, including a GS Baseline 9 for ballistic missile defense capability, as well as replacing her aft CIWS with a CRAM. The ship crossed the Arctic Circle in May of 2021. The crew began their first forward deployed patrol in August of 2021, returning in December of 2021. During 2021, Arleigh Burke sailed more than 44,000 miles, circumnavigated Europe, and executed operations in the Baltic, Black, Mediterranean, Barents Seas, along with the Atlantic and Arctic Oceans. Port calls included Tallinn, Estonia, Husk, Finland, Gindia, Poland, Varna, Bulgaria, Constantina, Romania, and Gorlak, Turkey. And in March of 2022, Arleigh Burke was selected as the 2021 Battle E winner for Destroyer Squadron 60. The Battle E recognizes the top ship in each squadron and is awarded for demonstrating sustained superior performance, operational effectiveness, and continued readiness, which is a very big deal, especially in today's day and age. In April 2022, Arleigh Burke completed the largest maintenance availability ever conducted in Rota, Spain, and then commenced her second forward deployed patrol in May of 2022. And on July 9, 2022, she arrived back in Riga for a scheduled port visit. And that's all the information I could find on her deployments. Arleigh Burke has earned many awards during her career up until 2024, having 8 different awards with 19 total awards. She has 3 Navy Unit Commendation Awards, 1 in 2003, 1 in 2007, and 1 in 2014. The Meritorious Unit Commendation, she has 3 of, from 1998 to 2001 and 2018. She has the Battle Efficiency E Award, and this is the most of any award she has, for 8. In 92, 95, 96, 98, 99, 01, 2014, and 2021. And for the following, she has 1 of each. The National Defense Service Medal, Armed Forces Expeditionary Medal, Kuwait Liberation Medal, Sea Service Deployment Ribbon number 13, and Overseas Service Ribbon. The Arleigh Burke even has a few media appearances. The first was she was featured in the opening credits of the television series Jag. She also appeared as USS Chuga in the 97 episode of Jag, cowboys, and Cossacks. Arleigh Burke was also used to film the at-sea scenes in the 2003 NCIS episode The Immortals. Filming for Season 3 of the Amazon TV show Jack Ryan took place on board Arleigh Burke in October of 2021. Scenes were filmed in the ship's pilot house and the commanding officer's cabin with actor John Krasinski. Arleigh Burke's sister ships are still being built to this very day. The Zimwalts were supposed to replace some of them, but there's only 3 of them and they're not having any more built. So, I think the Arleigh Burkes have proven that they're very good ships. And while I prefer World War II destroyers, or Canadian destroyers in general, there's just something about the Burkes that I love. I really hope that 1, preferably 2, are preserved, and for those, I would choose either the Arleigh Burke herself or the John Paul Jones. They're both my favorites. She's an amazing destroyer for today's world, and who knows just what the future holds for the American destroyers. But the Arleigh Burke will always go down in history for being one of the first of America's modern destroyers, and certainly one of the most loved modern destroyers that's currently in service.